Was working on and run on the BitShares blockchain network. So with BitShares, and let me emphasize that BitShares is a great network, and we are not in a position to malign or downgrade BitShares in any way, but it did not meet our needs and the vision we had Sesacash. And so we set out to look for blockchains that would support us to build a decentralized app to avoid some of the problems that we faced on BitShares. What were we looking for? A network that charges close to zero for asset movement. So as we all know in BitShares, if you are transferring assets between users, you have to pay fees, or you have to pay fees for that. We wanted to avoid something like that. And there's no smart contract on BitShares that we could use to build decentralized asset exchange and records. And so these were some of the shortcomings, or these are some of the shortcomings of BitShares, for which reason we decided to move to a new network, which I'm going to talk about, and that is Telos. One would ask, why Telos? So 7 months ago, or how did we come to Telos? When we made the decision to move, we had to review different EOS IO chains, especially Telos and Wobbly. So we took these chains and reviewed their strengths and weaknesses. After 2 months of both business and technical evaluations, we settled on Telos. As at that time, Telos was also young, I would say about 5-6 months ago. And so we wanted to build on a network that had a vision for innovation and with whom we could grow and innovate with. And that was Telos. And so we found them much attractive, and their smart contract answered most of the questions that we had. Secondly, we're looking for a chain that could help us build decentralized systems. So as at that time, Ethereum was more like the leader in building decentralized apps on a blockchain. EOS itself did not have that capability, and that was something Telos offered to us. And also how they implement BP block producer systems, and we found that Telos could help Sesacash really build a truly decentralized multi-currency wallet. Now back to the reason why Telos. So we have a couple of reasons, and I'll take them one after the other. One is that it is mostly cheaper to build on Telos. And so Telos was built by developers for developers. And for me, that's something that I love much. They offer cheaper resources in terms of RAM to build on Telos as compared to other blockchains. For instance, they have lower RAMs, close to 4 gig RAM. You can launch a dApp as compared to EOS, where you have to have about 68 gig RAM to launch a dApp. And so these are some of the things that influence our decisions. Second also is the fact that we could expand and grow without to worry about RAM RAM and net CPU height. So recently we all heard about a case on EOS network where there was a hijack of the system, and then prices of RAM shot up so high. For a startup like us, and also in the medium term. So we wanted to avoid some of these things. And when the price hikes happen on EOS, we're happy that at least we chose Telos, which has mechanisms in place to solve some of these things. And also as a startup, resources take up a huge chunk of our cost. And so Telos has systems in place to make sure things are a little bit cheaper for startups that want to launch on the Telos network. Now, second also is that Telos allows app producers to build proprietary apps on the Telos network. And so that was something that we also found very useful. And so we built on the Telos network and still own the code base. And so that also attracted us. For other EOS chains, you would have to make the code open source. And so that didn't come as attractive to a private company like Sesacash. And also the governance system came as an important feature. For Telos, during the time they were about to launch, there were no whales on the Telos network. So each account was there was a capping on how much an account could have, close to 40,000 Telos. And also the strict code of conduct for block producers using a proof of stake system is something that we find attractive. Recently, there was an account that wanted to hack the EOS system and then hike the prices. I think most of the block producers were able to blacklist this account, and so the person is not able to hijack the network and increase resource costs. So these are some of the reasons and things that continue to make Telos attractive to developers.
Hey, Blaise, thank you so much for that. And because of time, yeah, we're working with time over here. I would like
Okay.